hurt had forced him to confront his own insecurities. He realized that his fear of losing Barbara Jean wasn't just about her physical transformation, but about his own fear of inadequacy, of not being enough. He found Barbara Jean one evening, sitting alone in the living room, a thoughtful expression on her face. He sat beside her, hesitantly taking her hand. "Barbara Jean," he began, his voice uncharacteristically soft. "I was a complete idiot, a paranoid, jealous idiot." Barbara Jean squeezed his hand. "You were scared, Brock. I get it." "No, you don't," he insisted, shaking his head. "I mean, yes, I was scared you'd leave me for some younger, buffer guy, but it was more than that. When you started changing, when you got all this new confidence, this new energy, I felt like I was being left behind, like the old me wasn't good enough for the new you." Barbara Jean looked at him, her eyes filled with understanding. "Brock, that's not fair. You're my husband. You're the one who stood by me, who loved me even when I was at my heaviest. This transformation, it was for me, to feel better, to be healthier. It wasn't to leave you." "I know that now," he said, his voice thick with emotion. "But I let my own insecurities, my own fears about getting older, about not being as vibrant as you are now, I let them get the best of me. I should have talked to you. I should have trusted you." He paused, then looked at her, a genuine plea in his eyes. "I just need you to know that I love you, Barbara Jean. All of you. The old you, the new you, the one in between. And I'm going to try harder, to be a better husband, a more supportive partner, and to trust you, completely." Barbara Jean's eyes softened, and she leaned into him, resting her head on his shoulder. "I love you too, Brock, and I know you'll try. We'll get through this, together." Their conversation was a turning point, a reaffirmation of their bond. Brock began to actively participate in Barbara Jean's healthier lifestyle, not out of fear or jealousy, but out of genuine support and a desire to improve his own health. He even started going to the gym, though he carefully avoided Jordan's training sessions, opting for a different instructor and a quieter corner. Their marriage, once rocked by Barbara Jean's transformation, emerged stronger, more honest, and built on a deeper understanding of each other's vulnerabilities. Chapter 9. Cheyenne, too, found her own path to self-acceptance in the wake of the drama. Van's earnest, if clumsy, apology about the new Pritz comment, and Reba's heartfelt words about loving her for who she was, resonated deeply. She realized that chasing an idealized image, fueled by social media and external validation, was a losing battle. She stopped comparing herself to others, slowly unfollowing the influencers who made her feel inadequate. Instead, she started focusing on what made her feel good. She rediscovered her love for dance, something she had given up after high school. She started taking hip-hop classes, finding joy in the movement, the rhythm, the sheer physicality of it, without the pressure of performance or perfection. One evening, after a particularly exhilarating dance class, Cheyenne came home, her face flushed, her eyes sparkling. Van, who had been watching the kids, greeted her with a warm hug. "You look amazing," he said, genuinely, not with the superficiality of before. Cheyenne smiled, a confident, radiant smile. "I feel amazing. It's not about being new pretty, Van. It's about feeling strong, feeling alive." Van nodded, his gaze full of admiration. "You always were beautiful to me, Cheyenne. I got caught up in all the noise, but you're my wife. You're the mother of my kids. You're strong and kind and funny, and that's all the pretty I'll ever need." He reached out, gently touching her face. Cheyenne leaned into his touch, her heart full, "And I love you for it." The blonde wig, which had briefly become a symbol of her insecurity, now sat forgotten in a drawer. Cheyenne had realized that her true beauty wasn't something she could put on or take off. It was an inner light, fueled by self-love and the unwavering affection of her family. Chapter 10. Mrs. H's Quiet Battle. Reba, having confronted her own demons of judgment and insecurity, found a new wellspring of compassion within herself. She realized that Mrs. H's insatiable appetite was likely a symptom of a deeper pain, a coping mechanism for something she couldn't articulate. One quiet afternoon, after the kids were at school, Reba sat down with Mrs. H, not with accusation, but with genuine concern. She offered her a cup of tea, a comforting warmth against the chill of unspoken emotions. "Mrs. H," Reba began gently, I've been worried about you. About everything. Is there anything you want to talk about? Anything at all? Mrs. H, usually so guarded, looked up, her eyes clouded with a deep sadness. She hesitated. Then, slowly, haltingly, she began to speak. She spoke of loneliness, of losing her husband years ago, of children who had moved away, of a life that had slowly emptied, leaving a void she tried to fill with food. She spoke of a past trauma, a feeling of being overlooked, of being invisible. Reba listened patiently, offering no judgment, only empathy. She saw the raw vulnerability beneath the layers of food and silence. Mrs. H. Reba said softly, "You're not invisible here. We care about you, and you don't have to go through this alone." Reba didn't push for immediate change. Instead, she offered small, gentle steps. She suggested they take short walks together in the garden, just a few minutes a day. She introduced healthier snacks, not by force, but by making them readily available and appealing. She encouraged Mrs. H to join them for family meals, to feel the warmth of connection, to break the cycle of solitary eating. It was a slow, arduous process, filled with setbacks and moments of despair, but gradually, imperceptibly, Mrs. H began to change. Her walks grew longer. Her plate, while still generous, contained more vegetables, less processed food. Her eyes, once downcast, occasionally met Reba's, with a flicker of gratitude. It wasn't a dramatic transformation like Barbara Jean's, but it was a profound one, a quiet reclaiming of her own life, fueled by compassion and connection. Chapter 11. Reba's New Horizon. With her relationships mended and a deeper understanding of herself and those around her, Reba found herself on the cusp of a new chapter. The initial push for power smoothies and power walks had been born of insecurity, but now, her desire for wellness was rooted in self-care, in a genuine desire to feel good, strong, and capable. She didn't rush to join Barbara Jean's gym. Instead, Reba found her own rhythm. She started with long walks in the park, enjoying the quiet solitude, the rustle of leaves, the scent of fresh air. She discovered a local yoga studio, drawn to its calming atmosphere and the gentle, strengthening movements. It wasn't about burning calories or achieving a killer body. It was about connecting with her body, finding peace in the present moment, and building inner strength. It was at the yoga studio that she met David. He was a quiet man, with kind eyes and a gentle smile, who seemed to radiate a calm wisdom. He was a widower, having lost his wife several years prior, and he, too, found solace in the quiet contemplation of yoga. Their initial interactions were hesitant, respectful. They exchanged smiles, then brief conversations after class. Reba found herself drawn to his grounded presence, his thoughtful insights, and his genuine warmth. He wasn't loud or flashy, but he listened intently, his eyes conveying a deep understanding. One evening, after a particularly challenging class, David approached her. "You have a beautiful warrior pose," he said, his voice soft. Reba chuckled, feeling a blush creep up her neck. "My warrior pose feels more like a wobbly tree branch most days." David smiled. "It's not about perfection, Reba. It's about the intention, the effort, and yours is strong." He paused. Would you like to get a coffee sometime? After class?" Reba's heart fluttered. It had been a long time since anyone had asked her out, since she had even considered the possibility of a new romantic connection. But looking at David, at his kind eyes and gentle smile, she felt a spark. "I'd like that very much, David." Their first date was simple, coffee and conversation. They talked for hours, sharing stories of their lives, their losses, their dreams. Reba found herself opening up to him in a way she hadn't with anyone in years. He saw her, truly saw her, not as a single mom, not as an ex, not as someone constantly battling insecurities, but as Reba, witty, resilient, compassionate, and deeply human. He appreciated her quick humor, her fierce loyalty, her unwavering love for her family. He didn't care about new pretty or old pretty. He cared about her. The kids, initially wary of this new presence in Reba's life, quickly warmed to David. He was patient, kind, and genuinely interested in their lives. He didn't try to replace Brock, but rather became a supportive, steady presence in their extended family. Reba's relationship with Brock, too, found a new equilibrium. They were no longer bound by resentment or lingering romantic tension, but by a shared commitment to their children and a deep, enduring friendship. They co-parented with ease, their past hurts finally healed. Chapter 12. A New Definition of Beauty. Months turned into a year, and Reba's life blossomed. Her friendship with Barbara Jean was fully restored, deeper and more honest than ever. They shared their triumphs and vulnerabilities, no longer comparing themselves but celebrating each other's unique journeys. Barbara Jean continued her fitness journey, but with a newfound humility. Her confidence tempered by the understanding that true strength came from within, not just from a toned physique. Cheyenne thrived. Her dance class is a source of joy and empowerment. She embraced her body, her strength, her unique beauty, inspiring other young women to do the same. Van, ever her steadfast supporter, learned to express his love not just through words, but through actions, through unwavering presence and acceptance. Mrs. H, though still prone to moments of sadness, found comfort in the family's embrace. Her walks grew longer, her meals healthier, and her laughter, once rare, became a more frequent sound in the household. She had found a new reason to live, a new sense of belonging. And Reba, in David's arms, found a love that was gentle, profound, and deeply fulfilling. She realized that beauty wasn't about chasing an external ideal, but about cultivating an inner radiance. It was about self-acceptance, about compassion, about the strength to be vulnerable, and the courage to love. The novel culminated in a warm, bustling family gathering, a testament to their journey. The kitchen was filled with the aroma of healthy, delicious food, a far cry from the days of endless pizza and empty salt shakers. Barbara Jean, radiant in a simple dress, laughed easily with Reba, their arms linked. Cheyenne, glowing with health and happiness, danced playfully with Van, their children giggling around them. Mrs. H, a little thinner, a little brighter, sat comfortably, sharing stories with Ben and David. Reba watched them all, her heart overflowing. She caught David's eye, and he smiled. A warm, reassuring presence beside her. She didn't need to be new, pretty. She didn't need to be anyone but herself. She was Reba, a woman who had faced her fears, embraced her flaws, and found a love that celebrated her, exactly as she was. And in that, she realized, was the most beautiful transformation of all. The scent of lavender and honey, a subtle reminder of a peace offering, lingered gently in the air, a testament to forgiveness, growth, and the enduring power of love in all its forms.